She's got a smile and it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories where everything was as fresh as a bright blue sky. Hey, well, it's a Wednesday, December 1st, first day of December. Everything's about to start getting colder here in the U.S. It was snowing outside today. Looked pretty cold. Anyway, this is the Juan Manuel Marquez and the Michael Katsidis Afterfight Afterthought. In these videos, I break down the before, during, and after the fight for both fighters. I start with the Afterfight, who is the winner, and I end with the Afterthought, the loser, and we go from there. And this one is, a good one, personally for me. But, afterwards, please feel free to comment, rate, or subscribe. Okay, obviously, we're going to start off with the after fight, and that is Juan Manuel Marquez, who won by, a technical knockout in the 9th round. But let's go back first, and then go to the, coming into this fight, we have to remember he's not a big guy, even though he got hammered by Mayweather. There's no denying that. But he is not a 147-pound fighter. He is a 135-pound fighter. That is his home. That's where he makes his money. His first fight coming back, he went up against Juan Diaz again, which is still a great fight to come back on because he was coming down in weight. And when you do massive fluctuations in weight, and I don't care what you say, you're talking about 10 or 12 pounds in weight. That's a lot if you only weigh 135 pounds naturally. So, him coming down, he didn't look great against Diaz, but he looked good. And that's what you didn't want to see him being completely flat. And he wasn't. There was still something there. So, taking that into consideration, when you see that, you have high hopes for him because you realize 135 is his place. He didn't make the mistake when he dropped down and lose quick like Roy Jones Jr. did or Antonio Tarver. Those guys struggled when they went up and then they came back down. And he beat Juan Diaz, who just a year and a half ago people were saying he didn't stand a chance against. Sorry about that. I apologize. And, as I said, he looked great. Good, not great. But you still have to wonder, is age finally catching up to him? Because he didn't look otherworldly, He didn't have that massive knockout of him, So, he's going in against a much younger fighter. And people are saying, eventually his time's going to come. He's 37 years old. He's fighting in the lighter weights. 37 is like 47 in the heavier weights. So it's amazing. He's doing just about what Bernard Hopkins is doing. Okay, so he gets in there and he's looking across at the younger guy there in Katsidis, and they start going at it. And they're trading shots. He's unloading combos, massive shots to the body. I mean, the fight started fast, went fast, kept going fast. And in the 3rd round there, they're trading. He's landing a lot of hooks. He's countering them very well. And then finally, he gets caught with a massive left hook in the 3rd round by Katsidis. And he goes down. He went down pretty quick. You're like, oh! And you can see he's not panicking. He's not freaking out. He's been there before. This is not something new. Does the Pacquiao fight remind you? He was down like 4 times in that one. He gets up, he comes back, and instead of holding on, which is what you would expect, man, he's going right at him. He eats a nice big right hand, still hanging in there. They go through the end. He weathers the storm. 4th, 5th, and 6th, they're still banging. You can slowly start to see him gaining an edge. By the 7th and 8th round, you can see he's flat out outlanding, outthrowing, and outworking Katsidis. You can see it's like his mind is always working. He's always thinking in there. He's countering when he needs to counter. He's landing, he's pushing the pace, throwing the combinations. And if you saw my pre-fight to that, that's what he needed to do and what I thought he would do. And he started landing the big uppercuts in there as well. And it comes that 8th round, really starts hammering him. You can see the challenger starting to slow. He pushes the pace a little more in the 9th, and finally, the ref comes in and stops it. I thought it was a great performance by Marquez. I thought it was an amazing fight. I thought he was very live, very game in that. Yeah, he got knocked down, but he gets knocked down a lot. There's not very many fights he's in that he doesn't get knocked down in, because he's fighting the top competition. He's fighting bad A's, badasses. He's fighting them. He's not backing down from it. Katsidis hits like a freight train. He got caught with a very flush shot, and he did something that most guys can't, and that's get up and continue to fight at a high level. What do we want to see out of this? The fight's done. What do we want to see now? A lot of us are screaming for a rematch with Pacquiao. We'd love to see it. But it's got to be at about a 138 catch weight. 140 would be pushing it. They say Pacquiao can't go to the lower weights. I think that's crap. He has to fight, eat, and do whatever it takes to survive to keep his weight on. He could drop back down to the to 140. He could drop back down to 138, and it wouldn't be that hard for him to do. He could go against Roberto Guerrero. That would be a nice one. A winner of the Soto Antillon fight. That would be a nice one to see him go against. Miguel Acosta would be a good one. The sky's the limit for him. He's the lightweight king. He could run through those guys. They'd all be great fights. The Pacquiao fight, though, is the one that I think he deserves. More so than anybody. Getting a rematch with Pacquiao. He would definitely deserve it. More so than Cotto. More so than Margarito. Any of those guys. So, his future's bright. It's always been bright. He's Juan Manuel Marquez, man. Come on. Okay, over to the Afterthought and Michael Katsidis. He's a true warrior. And he's going in there and coming into the fight, his brother passed away, dedicated the fight to his brother. This cannot be discounted because a fighter can usually do things that he normally could never do when he's motivated like that, when he dedicates himself like that. He comes off a nice wins over Chavez, Escobedo, and one of my prospect perspectives in Kevin Mitchell, who he knocked out in 3. He looked really good at doing it, He looked very strong. He's very strong for a lightweight to begin with. He's thick, he's solid, he's powerful, and he's got the youth on his side going into this fight, on top of, fighting for his brother and all of that. He comes in the ring, and he's staring across a guy that's trading right with him, hitting him to the body. He's getting out-countered a little bit, but he's hanging in there, and then he lands a massive hook in the 3rd round. And his opponent goes down hard. And it looks like, hey, this could be it. He starts going in there. He puts the pressure on, lands some big right hands, backs his opponent up. But his opponent gains his composure and starts hitting him right back. And he knows he's in a war. In the 5th, 6th, 7th round, they're battling it out, but you can see that he's losing it. And his body is betraying him. Not his heart. His body is betraying his heart, if you want to get technical. It gets that 8th round. He's giving it all he's got, but he just can't keep up with the speed. He can't keep up with the punches. He's getting outworked, out-hit, and out-hustled. And he's taking a lot of damage. But he's not giving up. He's not quitting. He's pushing on. He's trying. He's fighting for all he's worth. In the 9th round, there's nothing left in the tank. The heart wants to go, but the body's not going to let him. The body's on E, the heart is full. And the ref realizes this, and he steps in and keeps him from taking any more punishment than he needs to. It was a courageous fight by him. He fought the best in the lightweight division. Can't take anything away from him. I could see a rematch with Juan Diaz. I think that would be a great thing for him. I think he deserves that, to avenge that little loss there. Maybe a Brandon Rios. That would be a nice little fight there. He's an up-and-comer. Linares. I apologize for the names. That would be another really nice fight for him to do. Maybe Antonio, what is it, DeMarco? You know, all the fights are open. Everything is open for him. A couple, 2 or 3 fights down the road, he could be fighting for titles again. Very game fighter. Very exciting fighter. He's not going to be in a bad fight. So, I mean, his light didn't get dimmed at all because he lost to Marquez, I don't think. I think it's very positive and shined a good light on him. Rarely do you have a fighter lose a fight and come out of it almost as good as he was going into it. You know, but I think in this one, people realize that Marquez is the class of the division, and you know, he is game for anybody else in the division. Do I think he should move up in weight? Absolutely not. I think this is good, very good for him, and you know, I'm looking for it. One of the things you want to say is, did the emotions, fighting for his brother's honor and all that stuff, and dedicating the fight to his brother, did that take a little bit out of him? And it could have. Do I think it changed the outcome of the fight? Absolutely not. I think, you know, that kept him going maybe even longer than he should have been, because he took a lot of hits. So there it is. That's my Afterfight Afterthought. Please comment, rate, subscribe. Tell me what you think. And hey, it's the Bigragu. I'm out.